Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about key uses of FA Global Patient Registry, opportunities to communicate with the patient community over time, while maintaining patient confidentiality. Enhanced patient recruitment through targeted recruitment notices to patients who best match the key inclusion/exclusion criteria for clinical research studies and trials. Pre-study planning, information on the size of the FA patient population based on demographic features, e.g., age or geographic area, or clinical features, e.g., ambulation status. This information was taken from FARA Australia with their permission. Their link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about To My Community, Your Journey with FA Matters, by Kendall Harvey. Battling a degenerative disease, especially one so rare that most people haven't heard of it, can be a lonely journey. Even our closest friends and family members, who know us better than anyone, can only imagine and sympathize, as they don't face the same physical struggles. Unless you have Friedreich's Ataxia, FA, you don't know the heavy heartache of being unable to trust your own body. You can't comprehend the suffocating fear of waiting to see which body part or ability FA will attack next, and how that will affect your life. You don't understand the frustration of being trapped in a failing body that you desperately want to escape, even if only for a moment. FA is painful, scary, humbling, draining, and overwhelming in ways I can't begin to communicate. But I have good news, FA community. You're not alone. Your journey with FA doesn't exist in a vacuum. You are seen. You are heard. Your battle matters, and you are changing the world for the better, whether you know it or not, whether you aim to or not. I find it so strange when strangers say things like, "You're so brave, good for you for not letting your disability stop you," or "Your strength and perseverance are inspiring," when I'm heading to my son's Little League baseball game, walking around the zoo with my kids, or going on a date with my husband. I don't think I'll ever get used to those sentiments. How strange that simply going about my life can affect someone else. By not letting FA sideline me, I'm inspiring other people who are facing struggles I know nothing about. This inspires me to keep sharing my story in my intentional efforts to raise awareness of FA. I hope to make the world a better place and bring about a cure for the disease, one way or another. FA patients are thrust onto a platform, whether or not we seek it out. We're making the world a more tolerable, accessible, patient, hopeful, and healthy place just by being ourselves. Any efforts we make on behalf of the FA community are just icing on the cake. So, to my fellow FA patients, keep living your life, sharing your story, and putting a name to your disability. Who's to say that the next $20 you raise won't be the donation that completes funding for a clinical trial, or that your story won't inspire a scientist to think of a new approach to curing this dreadful disease. Lastly, I hope to remind you that all of your feelings about FA are valid. It's completely understandable to be sad, mad, scared, frustrated, bitter, and jealous. The soul-crushing disbelief I experienced upon receiving my diagnosis was quickly followed by a sense of validation. I could point to the cause of my struggles. There was a method to the madness that was attacking my body. What a strange mix of feelings that day brought. It helps me to know that others have experienced those same feelings, and that there's a whole community surrounding the 4,000 Americans who are living with FA. While the journey may be lonely, you're not alone. The hope that you desperately seek and cling to is real. Scientists all over the world are fighting for a better future for you. Patients all over the world are walking the same journey as you. The hurt you feel is shared by your community. Your struggles can make or break you, but your community is always here to help. This information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. Their link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about Avoiding a Victim Mentality While Living with FA by Kendall Harvey. The effects of Friedreich's Ataxia, FA, are vicious, relentless, widespread, and undeniable. FA uses my own body to slowly defeat me physically. The disease has taken away so much from me and given me a lot of hardship. I guess you could say that by many definitions, I am a victim of circumstance. A victim mentality is when a person feels as though the world is against them. Even if something can be done to fix or improve their situation, they don't take responsibility or action, as they feel that everything is beyond their control. It's easy to get swept up in a victim mentality with FA because its effects on my body are truly beyond my control. I can't deny that I hate the disease with a vengeance, given all the pain, heartache, and suffering it has caused me and the rest of the FA community, but I refuse to let it defeat me mentally by going through life with the mindset of a victim. There's a common quote that states, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." No matter how much anger, hatred, or resentment I harbor against FA, my condition isn't going to die or go away. Holding on to that negativity only harms me and prevents any productive, forward motion in combating FA. I am not helpless. Thanks to my progressing FA symptoms, I am not nearly as independent as I wish I were. I'm not as able as I once was. I'm not as capable as other mothers in their mid-30s. But I am not helpless. There are things I can control to keep moving life in a positive direction. For example, when incoordination tried to take away my ability to walk, I learned how to safely do it with a walker. When scoliosis became a constantly painful nuisance, I began a consistent course of adjustments and massages at physical therapy and used a shoulder wrap heating pad at night. When neuropathy painfully attacked my feet and legs, I began a regimen of medication and new footwear. At every step, FA is trying to defeat me. I can't control that. I can't control what parts of my central nervous system it plans to attack and how it will affect me physically, but I can control how I respond. I can control whether or not I fall into a victim mentality. I am a proactive planner, so I've had to redefine my expectations and overhaul my approach to life in ways I never anticipated. Being forced into a reactive position regarding my physical well-being has been, and will continue to be, a substantial struggle. Yet I remain determined to redefine and maintain what little independence I do have. While I haven't perfected the ideal mindset for handling FA, I can confidently eliminate the victim mindset from my options, as I know it won't serve me well. For a couple of years now, Galatians 6:9 has been my theme for battling FA, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Yes, I am a victim of circumstance, but living in that makes me so weary that I want to give up. And I refuse to give FA that victory. This information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. Their link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's Ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about This Too Shall Pass, we say but it's not always true. By Kendall Harvey. The human experience is such a beautifully complicated journey. We all learn, grow, develop opinions, follow tendencies, change, adapt, and change some more. One common catalyst that shapes who we are is adversity. Everyone experiences adversity in one way, shape, or form, and that forever changes us, whether we realize it or not. Many of us have probably had moments where we think, I don't let things get to me, it just rolls off of my back. But even then, you are choosing to use your ability to move forward. You are choosing to not let that adversity get to you. The armor you've built to withstand trials and tribulations is tested and strengthened. You are practicing a skill that you've developed all through your life. Whether or not you see it, and whether it's a recurring hardship or expected obstacle, you're shaped by every adversity. Unfortunately, the human experience for those with Friedreich's ataxia, FA, like me, is wrought with more adversity than we'd face otherwise. Without FA, I wouldn't have to face life dependent on mobility aids starting in my early 30s. I wouldn't have to face the injuries I've endured. I wouldn't have accrued so many expenses making modifications to my house to accommodate my failing abilities. I wouldn't have to rely on others as much. I wouldn't have to endure as much pity, exclusion, heartbreak, disappointment, frustration, and grief as I do. That's not to say that if it weren't for FA, my life would be free from adversity. That would be naive and horribly untrue. It would, however, be free from the guarantee of a future including more than my fair share of pain and suffering caused by my disease. Many of us encourage someone going through a hard time by saying, "This too shall pass." I, myself, say it to friends and family, and even to myself. However, I've started to take issue with that saying for my specific journey with FA. While I agree that individual hardships like injuries, adjusting to new symptoms, or adapting to progression will pass, the root cause of the adversity won't. FA won't pass. In fact, it's likely only going to get harder. And that's a harsh reality to accept. I try my hardest to tackle each hardship as it comes and keep moving forward in life. I try to stay positive and adapt as I go. But knowing that the hardships I face today will be worse tomorrow as my FA continues to diminish my abilities and capabilities can be incredibly draining and disheartening. I find encouragement in the routine of individual hardships passing, even if FA won't pass. I'll continue to try to learn lessons from those events and let them shape my perspective. Yes, FA has worse plans for me tomorrow, the next day, and so on, but I have the choice to arm myself with the proper perspective to handle whatever FA throws at me. Just as much of the FA adversity I face will pass, so, too, will the good moments, unfortunately. Life is precious and fleeting, and I won't let it pass me by because of FA. This information was taken from Team Kendall with their permission. Their link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about: scientists receive $4.8 million to pursue gene therapy for incurable disease. On November 29, 2022, the California Institute for Regenerative Medicine, CIRM, awarded Dr. Stephanie Cherky and colleagues at the University of California San Diego a grant of $4.8 million to move a gene therapy approach aiming for one-time, lifelong treatment of Friedreich's ataxia closer to clinical trials. In 2017, Dr. Cherky published findings that showed a single infusion of wild-type hematopoietic stem and progenitor cells, HSPCs, into a mouse model of FA measurably halted cellular damage, suggesting a therapeutic approach to FA. In 2020, Cherky and colleagues published findings that specifically described how CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing of hematopoietic stem cells from patients with FA could work. This study was funded in part by FARA. This information was taken from FARA Australia with their permission. Their link is provided in description. Hello everybody, welcome to Voices of Friedreich's Ataxia. Our goal is to raise awareness and funds to cure Friedreich's ataxia, FA. Today we will talk about MIB626. Current stage of development. An open-label, Phase 2 trial, with the primary objective of testing the safety and tolerability of short-term therapy with a nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, NAD+, precursor, MIB626, in adults with Friedreich's ataxia, FA, without overt heart failure and with a left ventricular ejection fraction greater than or equal to 40%. A key secondary objective is to test the effects of MIB626 on cardiac and skeletal muscle bioenergetics. Outcome measures of cardiac 31 phosphorus magnetic resonance spectroscopy, MRS, to measure the phosphocreatine, PCR, /adenosine triphosphate, ADP, gamma ratio before and after treatment with MIB626. In addition, if time permits, we will use proton, 1H, MRS to measure skeletal muscle nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, NAD+, before and after treatment. This information was taken from FARA Australia with their permission. Their link is provided in description.